Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I am back with another tier list, and in today's tier list, I as a Barca fan compiled this list of my 8 favorite El Clasico games that I've ever watched, and today I'm gonna rank them all from 1 through 8. The reason why I wanted to make this video is because I'm still so happy riding high after that win against Napoli, on Tuesday, and us advancing to the UCL quarterfinals, that I thought, what better way to keep this party going than to talk about games where Barca dominated and beat their biggest rivals in the biggest moments. I understand that I have a lot of Real Madrid fans that love this account and watch this account, and I hope you guys know I love you, man. I truly do love you guys. But I've done enough suffering on this channel already. I've already watched the Roma game. I've watched the Liverpool game. I've ranked Barcelona's last 10 European exits. I've watched the fucking Bayern game, both of them, the 7-0 and the 8-2. So it's time for me to actually do something for myself and for the Barca fans watching this channel. Enough of the suffering. We're on to happier things. So again, Real Madrid fans, I love you. I hope you guys still love me after this video. This should be really, really fun. I cannot wait to talk about these games and rank them all. I hope you guys enjoyed. And also, if you guys want to see a part 2 of me ranking my least favorite El Clasico games of all time, let me know in the comments section. But yeah, man, this should be really fun. Super exciting. I cannot wait to get into this. And let's start ranking some El Clasico games. First up is the 4-0 that happened back in March of 2022 in the Santiago Bernabeu. I truly cannot believe it's been 2 years since this game happened. It feels like I was watching this shit yesterday. Time really does fly, man. But anyway, this game to me is gonna fall in the 5 through 8 range. Now, what numbers are gonna be exactly? You'll have to wait till the end of the video to find that out. But to me, this game was amazing to watch. I mean, this Barca on this day was fantastic. They were honestly perfect. You could argue it's Xavi's greatest game ever as a manager. It's definitely in the short list. I mean, Xavi going up against Ancelotti, who's arguably the greatest manager of all time. I mean, Ancelotti, we know the resume. The most UCLs of any manager ever. He's, I think, the only manager to ever win every single top 5 league. And Xavi, 4 months into coaching Barca, made Ancelotti, again, arguably the greatest manager of all time, look like a Division 2 coach. That's how good Xavi was on that day. Every time Barca went forward, they looked threatening and dangerous. And I remember Aubameyang scoring a brace, Ferran Torres scoring a banger, Araujo scoring his header, Dembele completely toying with Nacho out on that right wing, fucking Frankie de Jong, Pedri, and Busquets, thoroughly outplaying Casemiro, Kroos, and Modric, arguably the greatest midfield trio of all time. And that year, they were really, really good together, obviously, because they won the UCL. And Barca, the scoreline for this game is flattering for Madrid. If you watch this game, I know you know I'm not being hyperbolic. Barca should have won this game 6-0. Ferran Torres missed a sitter early on in the first half, and also Aubameyang missed a sitter as well to complete his hat trick. But Barca were thoroughly dominant on this day. I mean, Jordi Alba was fantastic. Gavi came off the bench and was amazing. It was just a beautiful sight to see. Aubameyang doing a celebration with the fucking thing. I mean, it was just amazing to watch. Right? It was so good. And yeah, man, but the reason why I'm putting it in 5 through 8, despite the fact that I just waxed poetic about this game, is because Real Madrid on this day, I gotta be fair, they were not at full strength. They were missing their Ballon d'Or winner Benzema, who was by far their best player that year, and also because, I mean, let's be honest, this game didn't really end up mattering for anything. Barca still, Real Madrid still won the league going away that year, so this game was really kind of meaningless. Again, it was good for bragging rights, but in terms of the overall table, it didn't really end up mattering for anything. And this Barca team was not star-studded whatsoever, man. I mean, this Barca team was not that great of a team, and Real Madrid, like I said, won the UCL that year, so that makes it amazing. But again, missing Benzema, who's, like I said, again, far and away their best player, the game didn't really end up mattering that much in terms of the bigger picture. So for that reason, it's gonna go into 5 through 8. But again, one of the most memorable El Clasicos and one of my favorite El Clasicos of all time. Next up, we have the 5-0 that happened back in November of 2010, and this game to me is gonna go into number 1. The most iconic El Clasico of all time. So many memorable moments from this game. Piqué, like you see in the picture, holding up the 5 fingers. Fucking Ramos getting sent off. Ronaldo pushing Pep Guardiola. Ramos shoving Puyol in the face. Messi dropping a masterclass. Villa scoring a brace. Jeffren, the Venezuelan pride, scoring the final goal. Jeffren scored a goal against Real Madrid. The 5th goal was Jeffren's, bro. If you know, you know. The man from Venezuela who actually ended up playing for Spain nationally, but still, he was born in Venezuela. So proud of my guy, bro. I mean, it was just amazing, bro. This was the peak of the Classico. This was Pep versus Jose Mourinho. This was Messi prime versus Ronaldo prime. This was Piqué versus Puyol. This was Xavi and Iniesta versus fucking, I don't know, the guys that they had. Oh, fucking Di Maria and whatever. I mean, it was just the peak of both teams, man. This was amazing to watch. This is the greatest era of football of all time. And Barca were obviously far and away the better team. And that La Liga title race was actually really, really tight. They actually drew the second game in the Bernabeu. I remember Messi and Ronaldo both scored a penalty. So this game actually ended up kind of mattering for the title race. And Barca, I mean, on that day, Messi, like I said, dropping a masterclass, feeding Villa like for that assist, and Villa was amazing on this day. Messi gets all the shine, and he was amazing, but Villa was fantastic. Pedro was fantastic. Xavi was fantastic, obviously scored the goal. Iniesta was fantastic. The whole Barca team was amazing, man. I mean, 5-0 against your biggest rivals. And this was the first game that Barca played against Jose Mourinho since he knocked them out of the UCL in May of that year for Inter in the Camp Nou, where he's doing the lobster arm, putting the finger up in the air like a fucking douche. And Barca got the revenge in literally the best way possible, destroying them 5-0. A beautiful sight to see. I love this game with all my heart. This is my like, if I'm ever sad, I go back and watch this game. It was just amazing, man. It was amazing to watch. So yeah, like to me, the most iconic Classico of all time for everything I just laid out. So it's definitely gonna go into number 1. Nothing even comes close to me. Next up is the 5-1 that happened back in October 28th of 2018. And this one to me is gonna land at number 6. This game was historic, okay? Suarez scoring a hat-trick in El Clasico, Vidal scoring a goal, Coutinho scoring his goal as well. This game, I mean, Barca thoroughly outplayed Real Madrid without Messi, by the way. Messi did not play in this game. The whole game, Messi was not on the pitch because he was injured, obviously. And Real Madrid had a good team, not a great team. That was actually the year that Ronaldo left, like the year after Ronaldo left. So Real Madrid were kind of like in their transition phase, so we're not a good team in my opinion at all. And they got knocked out, obviously, early in the UCL. That Real Madrid team was still like rebuilding post-Ronaldo. So for that reason, it's not going to go quite as high. But as a performance, again, Ernesto Valverde was just amazing on this day. Suarez obviously scored his pen and then scored 2 great goals. I mean, the header that he scored at the edge of the box from that pass from Sergio Roberto was fantastic. Vidal scoring his goal, I think, coming off the bench. I mean, this game was just a masterclass. I think the 4-0 that happened, obviously, in 2022 goes ahead of it for me because that game happened in rival territory. And like, it's always more sweet when it can happen in the Bernabeu. I love when Barca destroy Real Madrid in the Camp Nou, but in the Bernabeu, it gives it a different feeling doing it in their house. But again, this game was fantastic. This game, however, we did not keep a clean sheet, which kind of brings it down to me. I think Marcelo scored a goal early on in the second half, which kind of like Madrid kind of had momentum early on in that second half for that game, and then Barca ended up scoring their 3rd goal, and it was 3-1, and then they put that game away. But yeah, this game was historic and iconic, man. A 5-1 without Messi in an El Clasico is absurd, especially for this Barca team that we know back in 2018, 2019, they were basically being carried by Messi. So the fact that they put 5 past Madrid without Messi, I mean, it's a testament. Fuck, man, I'm sorry. I'm not cutting this shit out, by the way. It is a testament to how good the performance was. So for that reason, again, it's not going to quite go as high as some of the other ones here, but it's definitely, like, I put it in my list because it's definitely in the top 8 of the best Classico games that I've watched, but it's going to go into number 6 for me, right behind the 4-0, as of right now. I can move it up or down, but as of right now, it's going to go there. Next up is the 2-0 that happened back in April of 2011 in a UCL semifinal. I debated putting this one into number 1. I really did. But the 5-0's got to stay at number 1. It's just too iconic. But this one to me is going to be cemented actually in number 2. This game, bro, Barca beating Real Madrid in the UCL semifinal. Again, peak, everything I said about the 5-0 can apply to this game. The same season. Peak and Classico. Barca and Real Madrid had played each other in the league. They had played each other in the Copa del Rey final. They had beaten us actually in the Copa del Rey final in Mestalla. And they played these 2 games. It was literally like the boiling pot of that season. It was everywhere, bro. Barcelona, you couldn't escape this rivalry. Again, Pep versus Mourinho, and it was getting heated between the 2 of them. And Messi dropped a masterclass in this game. A brace in the Bernabeu in a UCL semifinal against your biggest rivals. The first time they had played in the competition in a knockout round since the early 2000s when they knocked us out. It was just amazing, bro. And then obviously we ended up tying the game 1-1 at the Camp Nou the next leg, and then Barca ended up going on to Wembley and winning the whole thing. We know the rest of the story. But this game to me, it was sweet. Honestly, I celebrated this game more than when we won the final against United at Wembley. This game to me was more important. I mean, the fact that we have these bragging rights, Barca can say, I can say as a Barca fan, I watched my team knock out the kings of the UCL in a semifinal, and I watched the best player of all time score, to me, what is a top 3 goal in the history of the competition, where he just slices through the whole Real Madrid defense, slices through Ramos, slices through Marcelo. I mean, it just puts it past Casillas beautifully. This game was iconic. Again, the peak of El Clasico was this time. So for me, again, I debated putting it into number 1, but I couldn't. But it's going to go into number 2 because this game, I mean, the stakes of the competition. If this game would have happened maybe in a random league game, I don't put it in there because, again, 2-0, it's not that insane of a scoreline compared to the other ones here. But the fact that it was 2-0 and that big of a competition, it's got to go into number 2 for sure. Next up is the 4-0 that happened back in November of 2015 in the Bernabeu. And this game to me is going to fall in the 2-4 range. This game was historic, bro. One of my favorite El Clasico games of all time. It was amazing to watch this Barca team play on that day without Messi starting, by the way. This game was just a Neymar and Suarez masterclass, bro. And Iniesta as well. And Sergio Roberto played fantastic on this day as well. I mean, the whole Barca team was just amazing, bro. They thoroughly outplayed a Real Madrid team that ended up winning the UCL that year, ended up winning the UCL the year after that, and the year after that. and Barca beat them that day. Now, granted, they were being coached by Rafa Benitez on that day, and Rafa Benitez was not a good manager for Real Madrid whatsoever. He actually got sacked mid-season, and after that, they brought in Zidane, and we know what happened. The rest is history. But on this day, they didn't have Zidane. They had Rafa Benitez, and Luis Enrique just tactically just outdid them and outdid Rafa Benitez in every single aspect. It was just amazing to watch. And Real Madrid actually had a really good team on that day. They had BBC, they had Cruz, Modric, and James in the midfield. They had Danilo, Ramos, Varane, and Marcelo. I mean, they had a really, really good team. And Barca, in their own stadium, without their best player starting for them, put 4 past them, bro. An amazing performance, man. Neymar was just fantastic on this day. Suarez, the final goal that he scored, the third goal, was it? He's just like patiently waiting and then chips it over Keylor Navas. Again, an amazing performance as a Barca fan. Watching this was just, it was like a religious experience. Honestly, man, I'm not saying that lightly. I really, like, it was just that amazing to watch. So again, is it going to be 3 or 4? I don't know just yet, but it's definitely going to go in the 2 to 4 range. Next up is the 3-2 that happened back in April of 2017 in the Bernabeu. And this game, to me, I wish I could put it higher, but it's gonna go in the 5 through 8 range, and it's gonna fall in at number 6. It's gonna fall right ahead of the 5-1 and right behind the 4-0. Obviously, this game was amazing, but the reason why I'm putting it so low is because similar to the 4-0, that's obviously ahead of it in number 5. This game didn't end up meaning anything. Barca still lost the league on that day, which is really disappointing. Obviously, we lost the league by 3 points, but this game individually was fantastic. Arguably the most entertaining and Classico of all time. Real Madrid and Barcelona going blow for blow. Obviously, Neymar did not play in this game, but still, I mean, 2 of the best teams, obviously, of that time, just going at it. I mean, Messi dropping a masterclass, Rakitic scoring a banger, James scoring the second goal. I mean, it was just amazing to watch this game. So many storylines, Ramos getting sent off, fucking Casemiro, or was it Marcelo, elbowing Messi. Just so much shit going on. It was like, again, peak at Classico, Luis Enrique versus, obviously, Zidane. It was just amazing to watch. But again, I can't put it higher because Barca did not end up winning the league. But if Barca would have won the league that year, it would have been in my top 4 for sure, 100%. But for now, like, not for now, but I gotta put it in 5 through 8 because again, I gotta put it at number 6 to be more specific. Because again, although it was a great game, it leaves a bitter taste in my mouth. The fact that Barca couldn't end up winning the league on that day. Again, like, a lot of the games that Barca played on this year. Sorry, I don't know why I just struggled so much saying that. On this year, the 6-1 against PSG, like, the game itself was amazing, but then what happened after kind of leaves a bitter taste in my mouth because obviously Barca, we got spanked by Juventus after the comeback against PSG. We just got knocked out in the next round. In this game, yes, we beat Real Madrid with a last-minute winner by Messi, an iconic winner, but we still didn't win the league. So for that reason, it just kind of leaves a bitter taste in my mouth, like I said. So it's going to fall in at number 6, but again, I wish I could put it higher, but unfortunately, I just can't. Next up, we have the 3-1 that happened back in the Super Cup final in 2023, and this one to me is going to fall in at number 5. This game was amazing to watch, bro. Arguably, you could argue this one and the 4-0 are Xavi's 2 greatest managerial performances. And on this day, Barca, similar to the 4-0 that happened obviously the previous year, on this day, Barca just dissected Real Madrid every single attack that they had. Gavi scored a beautiful goal, Pedri scored a goal, Lewandowski scored a goal, Dembele missed like 2 chances. So Barca honestly should have won this game like 4 or 5-0. Real Madrid scored a pen towards the end, obviously that Benzema penalty. But this Barca team, I mean, they were just outplaying Real Madrid every single way. In the midfield, in the attack, in the defense, goalkeeping, everything. Barca was just superior to Real Madrid in every single way. And this is when we all believed as Barca fans. This is when we all believed. Barca was fully healthy on that day. I remember we had our whole starting lineup. Busquets, De Jong, Pedri, Gavi, Lewandowski, Balde, Araujo, Koundé. And Barca proved why they were the best team in La Liga last year. Now again, this Real Madrid team was kind of in disarray. They were not the team that they were the year before. It was just, they kind of had fallen off at that point in the year. They were just not the same team. So that's why Barca kind of took advantage of that opportunity. But again, we're not blaming Barca for that. I mean, Barca went out and did what they were supposed to do and spanked Real Madrid. The reason why I can't put it higher though is because again, a Super Cup final, it's great. I mean, that's why I'm putting it at number 5 because it's better than obviously the other games that didn't really end up mattering at all. League games that just, I mean, they're just league games again, like I said. But like in a Super Cup final, it's pretty great to beat your biggest rivals 3-1. But yeah, man, it was just a great performance overall. But I can't, like, it's just not gonna fall in the top 4 for me because the final game here is just way more iconic in my opinion. And then finally, we have the 6-2 that happened back in May of 2009. Man, it's been 15 years since this game happened. That's crazy, bro. And this game to me is going to take up the number 3 spot. And that's going to complete the tier list. But let's talk about this game. This 6-2 was amazing, bro. In the Bernabeu. Now, Real Madrid, they managed to score 2 goals. They actually scored first on this day. But Barca, I mean, this is the peak of the greatest team of all time. Messi, Xavi, and Iniesta dropping a masterclass. Henry scoring a brace. I mean, Barca's defense, Puyol scoring a goal and kissing the armband. It was just so iconic, bro. This is this is when I really started falling in love with this team. I was already a Barca fan by this point, but when I really started falling in love with this team and just becoming immersed with the Barca culture and watching Pep Guardiola on that day play that tiki-taka football, Real Madrid could not get anywhere near the ball, man. It was just so amazing to watch Barca on that day. Messi arguably at his peak, Iniesta and Xavi arguably not even arguably at their peak. And just completely outplayed a pretty decent. That Real Madrid team was not really that great, but it was a decent team, obviously. And Barca were just the much better team on that day. I mean, beating them by 4 goals in their own state, in their home stadium, iconic to me. So for that reason, it's gonna fall into number 3. Now let's rearrange this list. I want to make sure I have it all right. Number 1 is a 5-0. Number 2 is a 2-0 in the UCL. Number 3 is a 6-2 in the Bernabeu, obviously in May of 09. Number 4 is the 4-0, obviously, like I mentioned, 3-1, 4-0. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with this list. I like the order of this list. Let me know what you guys agree or disagree with in the comment section. And this is gonna wrap up the video, man. I love every single one of you. This was really fun to make. I love making this video. It was so fun to make. It was so fun to go back and relive this games as a Barca fan. I miss these days, bro. I miss these days, and yeah, I hope we can get them back soon because the past few Clásicos have not been kind to us whatsoever. But yeah, man, I love every single one of you. Let me know what you guys think in the comment section, and I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace out.